case here, except Mr. Reedy. So, if you want to do resolution R-133.
R-133 is an authorization for engagement of professional services with Faces International for a sum not to exceed $25,000 to create a citywide anti-hunger campaign that will expand the participation in the USDA's after-school summer meals program. And other
Hold on one second. Yeah, please sit down in the back. We're starting the meeting. Thanks.
Okay. And other federal nutrition programs. It was the only response, and a number of requests were sent to 3 other companies.
It's all yours.
Good evening. The department solicited quotes for this. They sent it out to 4 vendors. They received 1 response from Faces. Faces has currently, or is currently in the process of providing other contracts to us, and it is a grant-funded contract as well.
Grant funds, completely or partially? We manage it.
Completely.
Pardon?
Completely.
Completely.
This is part of the grant of which I was responsible going out to Kansas City for. And it is fully funded through the grant. This is part of the process where we have to get out and get a company to do this community outreach, and I'll try to expand these services. This is ongoing. I've been involved in meetings like 3 times a month for this.
Okay. Any questions from council?
I just have one, not about this contract specifically, but I've seen this a couple times when we talk about social media contracts. And it seems like Faces is the only company that's been bidding on these. Do we have a sense as to why? I mean, I know they do a great job, they're a local company, so I don't have an issue with them. I'm just curious as to why we're having an issue where no one else is bidding on these contracts.
For this one particularly, and it seems the 3 that Faces are doing are all intermingled in some way. So we require in part of the specifications that we're putting out there that they work together with, we're not saying that it has to be one specific vendor, but the vendors have to work together to produce a cohesive production of what they produce. And so a lot of times that just leads the way to other vendors choosing not to participate because of the way that it's structured and set up.
Okay, with something like this where it's social media related, technology stuff seems to fall behind when we look at stuff like co-stars and how the state would do it. Do you feel that there's an adequate number of vendors that we can apply to begin with for this type of thing, or is it something where we seem to be pretty limited in the number of vendors that we can reach out to in the beginning?
I think for this type of thing, we're pretty lucky that we do have a pretty nice sort of group that we can send that to. The 4 that have got sent to this, we have even sent to others in addition to that for the other ones that Faces went out. Some of them are the same. There was a few others as well. So there's a group that's broad enough for this type of thing that I think there's a nice mix there.
Okay, I was just
wish
curious
I had
on
as
it.
much of a mix on some of the other contracts as that one.
I appreciate that, and I just want to say, Ms. Kistler, you and your team did a great job on this, and thank you, Mr. Hendricks, for representing council with this. I'm very excited by what this grant means for us, and most importantly, what it means for the children throughout the city. So thank you for your hard work, and thank you, Mr. Hendricks, for helping with this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Robinson, anybody else from council? Anybody from the public?
Thank you, Mr. President. How do I get a premium? That's not my question, really. My question is, the school district also provides this kind of aid to the,
And we're working in conjunction with
what
them.
does it mention?
It's a huge part of them.
I don't think it was mentioned, that's the reason I asked the question. So in other words,
Oh, yeah.
school district and the city can work together.
They're a big part of it. Yes, they are. And they do a lot of the preparation of the foods.
It's gonna be one manager though. You're not gonna be doing it, it's gonna be one manager on the whole program.
This is the result of a coalition.
Yeah.
There's an entire anti-hunger coalition. So there are several partners who prepare food, and those partners include the school district, Lehigh Valley Children's Center, the hospitals, their cafeterias, that kind of thing.
Okay, so
Then there are these types of efforts, which are Allentown specific, to make sure that citywide, all the kids can get there, know where they can get a meal, what time the meal is, that kind of thing.
And they're gonna use the schools for this, right?
No, we're gonna use the schools as little as possible. There's fees attached to keeping the schools open after school. So we're using hospital cafeterias, donated sites, Alliance Hall, places where there were no additional fees, so that as much of the food, as much of the money as possible goes to actual food getting into children's mouths.
And the summer program is gonna be the same.
The summer program is different than the after-school program. The after-school program obviously is more of a pre-supper, supper meal. The summer program is a lunch, breakfast combo. You're welcome.
Can I say something? I just think that this is great and, it's much needed in this city. Our kids are suffering, and with programs like this, they'll give our youth a great opportunity to succeed. I think that this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, and just to answer, I know Mr. Hirschman was kind of being facetious, but just to answer that question, adults can come to Alliance Hall, where the churches provide a meal every day from 12 to 2, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends at other churches, so that there is a meal children can come to as well. This program is specifically for kids in the summer to make sure that they eat more than once a day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing nobody, Mr. Hamlin.
Okay, Ms. Zappa,
Yes.
Mr. Greedy, not here. Mr. Hendricks,
Yes.
Ms. Boda,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Zuko.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. R-134, please.
R-134 is an authorization for a contract with Ferguson Waterworks, Nina Foundry Company, and Monarch Precast Concrete Corporation at the unit prices identified in the bid for a total estimate of $165,250 to supply storm sewer fittings. There are multiple bids and there are multiple vendors.
Okay.
This was done as bid 2018-20 for storm sewer fittings. This is part of a consortium bid that we do with the LVCPC. Allentown is the lead agency on that bid, and then other municipal agencies are able to participate in the bid as well. This bid was advertised on public purchase. It was accessed by 16 vendors. 3 responses were received, and an award is being made to all 3 vendors who have responded based on the lowest unit price. And all 3 vendors have successfully provided this service to us in the past.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, Mr. Hamlin.
Okay, Mr. Hendricks,
Yes.
Ms. Boda,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Zuko.
Yes.
Ms. McLean.
Yes.
Ms. Zappa.
Yes.
Thank you very much. R-135, please.
R-135 is an authorization for a contract with ABE Materials, Asphalt Maintenance Solutions, Coopersburg Materials, Ferguson Waterworks, and New Enterprise Stone and Lime Company for a total estimated amount of $1,475,162.50 to furnish road materials. There are multiple bids and multiple vendors in this contract.
This was done as bid 2018-23. It was advertised on public purchase and accessed by 28 vendors. We did receive 5 responses to this bid, and all 5 vendors are being awarded based on the lowest unit cost for each item or section. And all 5 of these vendors have provided this to us in the past.
Okay, any questions from council? Any questions from the public?
I just have one. And just quick, and I guess with you, Craig, this happens often, we get multiple bids based on the product that we're getting.
Oh, yes, yes, we do. There's different people out there that would do a little bit more of the hot asphalts. There's some out there that'll do more of the crack seals. There's
So they specialize.
people that are into the stones. So, yeah, while we open it up to everybody, there's certain people that have a little bit more of their expertise on what it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Glenn Hunsaker, South Allentown. My concern is this 1.4 million, you had it spread over 4 different projects, or funding solutions here, capital fund, liquid fuels, general fund, and the solid waste fund. And I wanna know what the amount is for each one of those funds. Where are you getting the money? Because you're talking about the 1.4 million here, right?
Yeah, 1.457.
Yeah, there's about four different, the 12,000, this number, asphalt number.
Mr. Messenger, do you have a breakdown on it?
I don't have the breakdown here with me, but I know that all of these funds are in the budget for 2019. I believe it's $800,000 for liquid fuels. It's probably capital fund, probably about 600,000. There's 300,000 for maintenance, and then there's another 300,000 for the different oils and everything. Solid waste fund, in estimate, it's probably like $30,000. We have a project that we're gonna be redoing one of their sites, so they're paying for the asphalt for there. And capital general fund is about 150,000. That's more so for like potholes per se. We actually have more money, a little bit more funds than what it is. You have to understand, we have a certain amount of budgeted money for it. We go out for a certain amount of materials. The cost comes back as far as how they budget for them. Sometimes they budget a little bit more, sometimes they cost a little more, sometimes a little less, depending on the cost for asphalt at that point in time with the asphalt price index. So we do have more funding, actually, a little bit more than what's available for this, but these are the numbers that actually came in from the actual RFP.
Okay, thank you. I know that doesn't give you the exact dollar amount from each fund, but
My concern is the solid waste fund. This is a test for council. I look at it as a test because they keep putting things into solid waste. Now, I gave a good answer there, that they're gonna do some paving in solid waste, $30,000. I don't know, maybe they are, but, and that's a good answer.
Mr. Johnson, this was discussed at the Public Works meeting when we went through the solid waste fund, either repaving the site at 15th and MLK or the site out where the old boneyard used to be, further out towards 24th Street, if the recycling yard would move there. So it was either spot, whichever is determined, you're either gonna repave or pave a new section. We did talk about this in the Public Works budget here. I do remember that aspect of it.
Public Works
So,
budget,
The budget hearing,
When was it?
Public Works, I believe that was the night before Thanksgiving.
well, talking about it and resolving this, they're just presenting this tonight.
No, the 30,000 was in the solid waste budget as part of, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the capital fund for solid waste, if I remember correctly.
It's in a 54 account in there, and it
54, excuse me.
will only be used on site for the solid waste. It will only be used on site. It is not gonna be used for any other purposes.
I would like them to provide us with the information, the numbers, because we're starting phase 2 on the capital projects. And the only way we can track this is really get these numbers nailed down. This is exactly where they're gonna take this money from. For going out, we have to track this money, because over the years, we found this is where this money disappeared, the 1.7. I mean, millions of dollars have gone out of the capital funds, millions. And I'll show you the numbers, where did it go? You can't come up with the money. So I'm trying to tell them to start providing numbers, when they present these things, put the numbers down exactly where they're coming out.
Mr. President, would it maybe be possible to ask Mr. Hanlon to reach out to?
there's no hard stuff. I was just letting them talk. I was just letting them finish his talk. We'll get the exact numbers. We'll get the exact.
Okay, but we have to track them, not just me track them, I think it's the duty of somebody on council or them to track them.
Please understand too, that the project information form is sent through with the exact numbers into prior to any RFP going out.
Right.
So they check to make sure that the funding is there and available for it prior to an RFP going out.
Right. But we'll get you the numbers. We'll get Mr. Hanlon and
That's a nice statement, it is a nice statement, but then we wouldn't be missing all this money over the last 10 years.
Mr. Messenger
I'm
has
not
been pretty
saying-
above board with us here, and I.
He's trying to be,
you
I
know,
know, but I'm
in
trying
all
to tell him.
aspects.
In the general fund, there's 100, in the detail here, 54 account, there is $100,000 for various paving materials. That's more so towards like street maintenance with potholes. Various paving materials for LCA water cuts, there's 70,000 that's in there. That's, we take care of the service for them, and then we actually bill them to get that funding back. There's 30,000 for rubberized crack seal that is also in the general fund under streets.
Okay, let me, can I stop you there? A second, I just wanna make sure, this was an expenditure, he's trying to say that this was an expenditure in the 2019 budget, is that what he's telling us?
Yes.
It's going to.
That's what you're gonna be doing?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at numbers from what you're trying to transfer over into 2019, 1.6 million in basically in these projects.
Mr. Hunsaker, let's stay on the bill here.
Well, I'm on the bill.
On
This is the
contract. Well, no, you're talking about something else here.
No, I'm talking
That's a
about.
budget and finance committee meeting that's coming up in a little bit, that we're running behind schedule, so.
Hey, I'm trying to get this information out, and the only way to get it out is present it to him.
We'll get the
If he
numbers.
wants to sit down with me sometime and go over this, I'll gladly do that.
They've got the numbers.
All fine,
That's fine, everything is all line item.
okay, because I see things here that I don't see where and he says it's only 30,000 for this particular project.
Let us know when the meeting is, if any of us can make it, maybe, well.
Well, he'll have to set this up somewhere.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hunsaker. Anybody else from public? Seeing nobody, Mr. Hanlon?
Ms. Moda,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Zuko.
Yes.
Mr. Glenn.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Mr. Grady. Not here. Mr. Hendricks.
Yes.
Thank you, this contract meeting is adjourned, and we're gonna move into the Water and Sewer Compliance Review Board.
Actually, the next one's not till 6:30.
No, 5:30.
Mine is 5:30, I thought about it.
Oh. You meant the finance.
Yeah, the finance one, so.
Oh,
So we can take a 5-minute break.
okay.
Mr. President, is there gonna be a report for this meeting? I mean, there's nothing to read or follow?
Well, I have a couple questions for